Hi everyone, welcome to Note to Self Season 2. My name is Ayushi Mathur and I'm your host for this podcast. My aim is to help you build resilience so that you can ultimately lead a more fulfilling life. How do we do that? We do that by learning how we can manage all the different spectrum of emotions we feel throughout our lives and through challenging times and learn to navigate them better. When we do that together, we're gonna grow as individuals. So sit back, relax, and let's get on this journey together. Okay, hello, and welcome to episode 2, season 2 of Note to Self. Today, I want to talk about something that is bothering me since yesterday, and I thought this is the perfect channel to do it because I started this podcast so that you and I could talk about everything that we experience emotionally, but we're not able to recognize it or share it with people or be very vocal about it. Which is why today, what I want to talk to you about is subconscious anxiety. The kind of stress and anxiety we carry that we don't even notice that we are experiencing, but it manifests in different physical symptoms. And that's something that I've been struggling with since yesterday. I have been noticing that my throat muscles are extremely tense and in pain because I've been carrying some background, some subconscious anxiety that in the foreground I can't notice. Consciously, I can't notice. Consciously, I'm very chill, very relaxed. However, there are some thoughts, some processes in my subconscious mind that is making me feel tense in my body, feel irritable, restless, slightly unhappy. And I wasn't even gonna notice this if I didn't wake up with that tense throat today as well. I thought I was just tired yesterday, and that's why I've been feeling this tensing of muscles. But when I woke up with it and when I continued to feel it throughout the day, even when I tried certain relaxing activities, certain relaxing techniques, I couldn't let go of the tense muscles. I couldn't fix the tense muscles in my body, and it was feeling horrible, which is why it hit me earlier today when I was at my workout that this could be because of something background, something in my subconscious that's bothering me. So I looked it up. I looked up subconscious anxiety and realized that I'm not the only one. A lot of people are experiencing subconscious anxiety, subconscious stress, that they think their life is going extremely well, their life is going, all happy, but there's something that they are stressing about within their subconscious. So today I want to walk you through the process of subconscious anxiety and how we can address it through my example, as well as certain tips and tricks that I've found have worked for me in the past as well, because this is not the first time that it's happening with me. It's happening after a long time, but it's not the first time that this is happening with me. So yeah, let's get into it and talk about it. So the first thing I want to mention is triggers. What exactly is it that triggers the subconscious anxiety or subconscious stress in us? One thing that I've noticed with myself, and it might be true for you also, is when I am given a little extra work which wasn't in my routine, which is different from my routine, which I usually do with my team, which I have different processes for, and this particular work now I have to do in a certain different manner. So basically this is about control for me. When things are out of control for me and I have to do certain things a different way, a way which I have not explored before, that's when I experience this subconscious stress, because in my heart, in my body, I'm constantly thinking I don't want to do this, even though I have to. It's work, it's generating revenue, I have to, but I feel that I don't want to. And the whole resistance then shows up as subconscious anxiety. And I want you to think right now, is there resistance related to certain actions that you have to take in life? Is there resistance that you can notice? What could you be resisting? Is it change? Is it growth? Is it success? A lot of times, resistance actually is against something positive. It's not against something negative. Resistance happens because we go in a little self-sabotage mode. And in another episode, I will talk about self-sabotage also, but today let's stick to the subconscious stress and anxiety that we experience. Now, this is me. For me, it was about control, and it was about resistance that I was experiencing because things were not going to go my way. I had to explore a new path, a new way of doing something, which I usually do with my teammate. But subconscious anxiety can come from multiple different sources. For you, it could be something in the past, it could be past trauma. You might be going about your life regularly, but you might be carrying a lot of stress in your body. So the first step is to notice if your muscles are tense, if you're experiencing fatigue and pain very often in life. If that is the case, then is it something that is in your head? That means, I don't mean that it's not real, but is it something that is bothering you in your mindset? Is it related to your mental health and not physical? If your physical health is in top shape, but you still have fatigue and pains and different unease, then try to figure out whether you're holding on to some past trauma, some past grief, some feelings from the past that you haven't still resolved. One way I try to do this is by cutting off all the stimulus around me. I would put away phones, put away books, put away computer, put away everything, and just sit with myself. Sit with myself in complete silence. Try to cut out as much stimuli, external stimuli as I can, and I would just sit with myself and just try to notice where in my body am I feeling this discomfort, where in my body am I feeling this unease, what is it related to, what exactly am I not letting myself actively think about that's holding this anxiety in my body. So if you can, do this mindful meditation exercise, which is sort of like an audit of your body. Just sit by yourself without any external stimuli and just try to notice where you feel the discomfort and where it might be coming from. What are the thoughts that you're so uncomfortable thinking about or addressing? What are the emotions that feel scary to even address, to even bring up? That's the first step. Moving forward, also think about other aspects of your life physically that might be challenging you or bothering you. Do you get palpitations, rapid heartbeat out of nowhere? I do. I have that. I used to have that a lot of times earlier when I had anxiety issues regularly. Now not so much, but palpitations is always one giveaway for me to notice that there's something wrong with me. Are you feeling restless irritable? Are you feeling exhausted? Are you having difficulty sleeping? What could it be that's bothering you? Understand that. Once you do, try to figure out that even though your life may seem perfect or positive right now, is there something that you're not addressing from the past? Is there something underlying that happened to you or around you in the past that you haven't really taken time out to process? Processing our grief, processing our trauma is so important. Otherwise, unknowingly, we end up carrying this kind of symptoms, this kind of subconscious stress and anxiety throughout our lives. And that can be really bad for our heart, that can be really bad for our health, physical and mental both. Now, in order to understand how you can work towards not having this subconscious anxiety, you first have to understand the root cause of it. Now, I understand that a lot of times we ourselves, by ourselves, are not able to pinpoint the root cause because sometimes we do need external help. This is where seeking help from a therapist or a coach really, really helps. As a coach myself, I try to at least get some peer coaching hours where other coaches coach me. At least 2 to 3 times a month, I invite other coaches whose work I like to coach me so that I'm able to pinpoint all these things that I'm not able to address myself or I'm not able to get to by myself. They help me with their kind of questions. With the questions they ask, they help me reach there. They don't give me their opinions. That's not coaching. They don't tell me what's wrong with me. But they ask me the right set of questions so that I'm able to arrive at what exactly it may be that's bothering me. So here's how it works. The first thing is you identify that you may be holding on to some subconscious stress or subconscious anxiety or both. Second, you seek help from a therapist or a coach, any professional who's able to guide you on your journey towards identifying what it may be that's causing you these subconscious emotions and the way your body is reacting, where it's coming from. Finally, the third step is continued support. You continue working with the kind of coaches that you like to work with. And fair warning, you might not like your first therapist or your first coach. So you might have to try more than one. But once you find the right rapport, find the right relationship with a coach, stick to it, at least for 4 or 5 sessions. Stick to it. Let them help you understand yourself better. And then once you do, there are a lot of processes that you can build for yourself, which can be a part of your routine moving forward, so that if in the future something happens, if in the future you have some triggers, you have stressors, which I guarantee there will be. Nobody leads a life without any stressors. So in the future, when you have these stressors, you have mechanisms for yourself to cope better. Not just cope, to process better. Because if you're only coping, we're only trying to fix it temporarily. Which is why we need to process, address, learn, and then move on. Identify, process, address, learn from it, and then move on. These steps are very, very important because we all are going to go through stressors. We are all going to go through, if not trauma, but triggers that make us unhappy, that trigger certain negative emotions in us, our lives cannot be all rainbows and butterflies for the rest of our lives, right? There is grief, there's loss, there's challenges, there's stressors. So having this process down for ourselves is very, very important. And the process begins with identifying, of course, then without judgment, sitting with ourselves and understanding where it's coming from, what might be wrong, what I can do to feel better, and then processing it, going through the process of making it better. Then understanding what we can learn from it, and then finally moving on. In this process, there are certain routine activities, certain habits that you can take up that will really, really help you overall have a positive life, lead a positive life, lead a life where you don't carry a lot of anxiety in your body. One of them is breathing techniques. Every single day, take 5 minutes out, if not more, to do some diaphragmatic breathing. The kind of breathing which you can see your stomach go up in when you breathe in, and your stomach go back in when you breathe out. Try diaphragmatic breathing every day, 5 minutes. That's something I do for sure. Another thing that I try to keep regular at, but not always, is journaling. Just writing down whatever it is that's in my head, whether it's gratitude or it's some challenges that I've faced and I want to write down learnings from it, or just resentments, rejections, whatever emotions there might be. That's another thing that I make sure that I do often. Third, which is very, very underrated, is getting enough sleep. In this culture of hustle and side hustles and this and that and becoming millionaires by 20, we often forget to prioritize our physical health. So water and sleep are very, very important. Make sure you drink 3 liters of water every day. Make sure you sleep at least 7 to 8 hours every day. I know it might sound crazy to some people that at least 8 hours. Hey, I can't even get 4 to 5. Then see where you're missing out. See what you're doing wrong that you're not even able to get 4 to 5. Where is your night time going? Get 8 hours. Even when I'm traveling, I've set this boundary with all the people even I'm with, that hey, I have to get my 8 hours, so I'm gonna go to bed early because we have to wake up early, or I'm gonna wake up late because we've gone to bed late. So 8 hours of sleep, very, very important to manage stress and anxiety better. Another thing that really helps is certain kinds of relaxation techniques. These can be done in many different ways. You have to figure out what works for you. What works for me is guided meditation, visualizations. Another thing that works for me sometimes is sound healing. So I have a sound bowl, I try that. Another thing that works for me is warm showers. That's very, very relaxing for me. So you have to find your own relaxing activities, what makes you feel relaxed and safe for sure. So yeah, that was about subconscious anxiety and subconscious stress. With this episode, I just want you to think, are you holding on to certain kind of emotions that you may not be 100% consciously aware of, but they're there? Just think about that, and I would love to hear from you. So reach out to me on Instagram at the Ayushi Mathur, and let's get talking. Let's see how I can help you. How, if you are going through any of these struggles, then I would love to coach you. I would love to be your coach. You can reach out to me. Let's chat, let's discuss, and I'll see you and I'll talk to you in the next podcast episode. Thank you so much for watching the entire episode. I really hope it gave you the pointers you needed to improve your life and your relationship with your emotions. I will see you in the next podcast.